What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab Show, NFL Week 3. Look, the Indianapolis Colts, this is a must-win game for them. If they lose and go 0-3 into this season, it's not looking great. I mean, let's be honest here. And Carson Wentz, he's questionable. I think he will play tomorrow against the Texans. I just think with Carson Wentz right now, I just really think the Colts really handled the situation bad. He was already hurt preseason. I think they should have, rested him the first couple weeks into this game. But look, dude, he's just banged up. Yes, I understand he's got 3 touchdowns and one pick, but the Colts defense has been weak for years. I mean, since Bob Sanders left the Indianapolis Colts, the defense went from here to all the way dropped out of the bottom. I mean, giving up 27.5 points a game, in the first 3 games, that's not good at all. I think the Colts, this is a must-win game. If they lose this game, go down 3-0, mark my words, they will miss the playoffs yet again, which is crazy to think, right? The Indianapolis Colts, they got talent, they got great players around them. It's just they can't really formulate. And Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans, he is the best running back in the NFL right now, hands down. Last game had 182 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns versus Seattle. And Seattle's kind of known for their defense historically. But look to Derrick Henry, the best running back in the NFL right now. Everyone's afraid of him. He can break tackles. He can really get away with you with his speed as well. So there's a lot of things that Derrick Henry can do, and that's one of them. His speed, athletic ability, and obviously his power, and just be able to make people miss tackles. And this is a big game for the AFC South right here. I think if Tennessee Titans do win, really they're going to keep going up and winning. And I do think Tennessee Titans will make the playoffs as long as Ryan Tannehill plays disciplined and sound. If he's trying to be the hero and throw the game-winning touchdown, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Tennessee wins through their defense, their defensive line, and obviously with Derrick Henry in the offensive line, if they can run on teams. If Derrick Henry can rush for over 100 yards per game, Tennessee Titans will be elite this year. What I mean by that is they'll lose maybe 3 games all year is what I'm saying. But for the Colts, there's more at stake right now. I want to bet with my heart for sure and say the Indianapolis Colts, but I'm betting with my mind and saying the Tennessee Titans at home. I think they're going to get the dub, the 5.5 point spread. That might change come game time, but I like Tennessee here. Why? Because of Derrick Henry in this run game. I think the Colts are really weak at that aspect on defense in their secondary. We saw against Russell Wilson throw a lot of touchdown passes. I think Julio Jones is going to have a breakout game tomorrow for Tennessee, and I think it's really going to be a long day for the Colts. But I hope I'm wrong here. I hope the Indianapolis Colts come out on fire. Hope Carson Wentz throws for 3 or 4 touchdown passes and gets the dub in Tennessee. That would be great. That would be amazing, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really think Tennessee right now, the overtime win at Seattle last week is really a momentum booster for that team, and really they were looking at 0-2. They were looking at, just 0-2 into this game. Now they're 1-1, a huge difference. So I like Tennessee. I'll take the 5.5. 48 is the over-under. I will go with the over here. I think it's going to be a little bit high-scoring game, but I like Tennessee at 5.5. I hate to get bet against my Indianapolis Colts, but you got to bet with your mind. I mean, betting with your heart is going to go to a one-way road, and that is broke. So don't go that way. So I like Tennessee Titans 5.5 all day, every day. Then we got the Saints versus the Patriots. The Patriots are 3-point favorites coming in this game, and really this game is a coin flip. Flip a coin. Which Jameis Winston's going to show up? The 5 touchdowns against the Packers or the 2 interceptions last weekend? I mean, you just don't know. I think Jameis Winston is really inconsistent. I think that's one of his weaknesses in his game. Yes, he'll give you great games here and there, but other games it's just like, how's Jameis Winston in the NFL? Like, straight up, how is this guy in the NFL? That's what we're thinking, right? Just like Jameis, like throwing like crazy like passes where it's like, who's he throwing to? Like, Jameis, like, obviously you don't have 20/20 vision. It's just like, I don't know if it's a crab meat that got on your fingers or what that got him greasy. I don't know. But for me, the Patriots at home, I think they historically play great with Bill Belichick. Give him some credit. Yes, he's the Super Bowl champion, but Mac Jones, he's only got 1 TD this year. I think the Patriots really put so much pressure on Mac Jones and say, hey, you're going to fill in for Tom Brady here. We're talking Mac Jones here, okay? He barely played played college football at Bama. Didn't get a lot of clock there. Obviously to play at Bama, you got to be elite, but Mac Jones, I just don't know. Damian Harris, what a season already. 39 carries, a touchdown, 162 yards. We see that, right? We see these small running backs, small receivers in New England Patriots history really pan out to be great. And I think that's really kind of benefit to the New England Patriots system, the way they breed their players and really just, continue to develop their players. For instance, like Julian Edelman, guys like that. Guys that don't look like NFL players, right? That pan out to be nothing, and then they became a superstar like Julian Edelman. So I like the Patriots here at 3. I'll take them at home. I would love to see the Saints get the dub here. I don't like the Patriots. I'm not a Patriots fan. I hate him. I really do. I think, Bill Belichick really misplayed his hand and said, you know what, Tom Brady, I don't need Tom Brady to win without him. Well, what happened last year? You missed the playoffs and the GOAT won a Super Bowl in another squad. So I really think, there's some differences there. But I like the Patriots. 42.5 is the over-under. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes with the under here. I really want it. So I like the Patriots at home, but I would love to see the Saints win. And then we got the Washington team versus Buffalo Bills. The Bills are at home, 7-point favorites. Josh Allen, that's the difference maker. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick this year. Stefon Diggs, his main target. He's got 129 receiving yards and a touchdown. I think Josh Allen, like I said before, one of the most improved NFL players, to date right now. And I think the Buffalo Bills are going to different levels. We saw him last year win a playoff game. And I think, this is going to continue to grow and grow. And I think Buffalo Bills eventually, and I say this in the next 5 years, if Josh Allen continues to improve, eventually I do see him being Super Bowl contenders. This year it might be a far-fetched, from the Ravens, Kansas City. That division's nasty, but Buffalo Bills in the next 5 years will be Super Bowl contending champions at least. At least make it to the Super Bowl. They might not win the Super Bowl, and be champions, but they will definitely make it there. I like the Bills over the Washington team. I just think, the Washington team really is not that good, dude. They don't even know what their real name is yet. They got rid of the Washington Redskins, said it was racist, and all this other bull crap. It's just like, dude, to be honest, you guys suck. Yes, RG3, that in 2012, you had a great year. They lost in the playoffs against Seattle when RG3 got hurt, and ever since then, they just went downhill and never been anything. So I'm going Buffalo. 45.5 is the over-under. I'll go with the over here. I think Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen puts up a lot of touchdowns and wins this game. I like the Bills. You guys mark my words. Go Bills. And then we got the Bears versus the Browns. This is great, right? We got Justin Fields finally starting after Andy Dalton got hurt last week with his knee injury. And I think this is great news for Chicago. Best news Chicago since the 2016 Chicago Cubs won the World Series. Let's be honest here. Justin Fields, they should have started him in week 1. I don't know what they saw in Andy Dalton. They're lucky to even get a win right now. They're lucky to, really, they should be 0-2. It's just crazy. But, Justin Fields, I do think this kid, man, he could be a superstar one day. He has the ability, and I think he needs to improve in the pocket a little bit more and understand his first read. Sometimes he likes to go with the second and third read more. NFL, sometimes it's good to go with your first read. Dump it down for a 5-6 yard gain, instead of go with that, long ball play every play. But I think that over time he'll adjust to that, and that'll be great. But Baker Mayfield, man, they're putting up 30 points a game, and understanding his stats aren't too great, but 535 yards. I like Baker. He's continued to prove year in and year out. He's proved his worth to the Cleveland Browns, and I do believe the Cleveland Browns will make the playoffs this year. 100%. Look, Nick Chubb, a really low-key running back. He's in the top 5. Crazy to think Nick Chubb, top 5. 100%, dude. This guy brings it day in and day out, week in and week out. 178 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Will Odell Beckham be back for this game? I mean, that's the question. I think if Odell comes back, don't rush into things. I think Odell needs to be 100%. If Odell does come back, that's definitely a positive for the Cleveland Browns. Definitely for Baker Mayfield. He's got to understand, dude, with Odell, they could go deep in the playoffs, really, because, the Browns, yes, underestimated defense-wise, but I think they're going to continue to improve and continue to win, and I like the Browns here. 7.5 is a little bit, over. I think this game's going to be like a field goal deciding game for Cleveland or the Bears. I just think for Justin Fields, go out and have fun. Go out and have fun. This is your first NFL start against the Cleveland Browns at Baker Mayfield. You got to see Baker Mayfield play in Oklahoma. I just think this is going to be great, man. I really do. I like it. I like the matchup, but I got to go Cleveland at home. I think Baker's going to have a breakout game, but I want to see Justin Fields just have a good game. I don't want to see him throw a touchdown and 3 picks. That's what I don't want to see for the Bears. But if Justin Fields plays great this game, this is going to be great news for the Chicago Bears and their future. Looking at the future for the Bears, it's going to be bright for you guys because of Justin Fields. I like this kid. He's going to be great. I like the Browns, though. I like money line, though, Browns. 7.5 is a little too much for me. I like the money line Browns. 45.5 is the over-under. I would probably go with the over here. I think it's going to be a little bit high-scoring game here and really passing the ball a lot. So I like Cleveland Browns at home money line. Then we got the Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. Look, Ravens last week, we saw that epic Sunday night game against Kansas City, and really Lamar took over that game after throwing a pick six, opening drive at home. Really didn't look good for the Ravens. He bounced back. John Harbaugh asked him late game, do you want to go for it on 4th and 1 for the game right here? He said, yes, let's go. I like the relationship. I like where the Ravens are, and I like the Ravens all day here at 7.5. I'd even go 10 or 11 points, really. I like the Ravens. And Lamar, he doesn't need to be a superhero every game. You guys are playing the Detroit Lions after all, okay? Jared Goff, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, really, some good plays here and there, but I think the Ravens are just, they're continuing to improve. They really are, especially their defense, their linebacking core, their defensive end, their defensive ends, and their cornerbacks. I like them. I like where the Ravens are at right now. And Marquise Brown, the receiver, 12 receptions this year for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, huge win last week. I think the momentum's going to carry into Detroit, and I expect Lamar Jackson to have over 100 rushing yards and over 200 passing yards with the dub by at least 14 or 17 points. I like the Ravens over the Detroit trash-ass Lions. That's what I like. And then we got the LA Chargers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City at home. I like Kansas City, man, but you know what? This could really be an upset game here. Sounds crazy, right? I just think the LA Chargers are low-key underrated on offense. Justin Herbert, man, 675 yards with 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. I think the Chargers can score on anybody. I really do. They can put up crazy numbers, but I'm going to bet with my mind here and say, you know what? Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City, let's respect them. I got to go Kansas City at home. I'll take the 7 points. 54.5 is the over-under. When you're playing Kansas City, typically go with the over because Kansas City puts up crazy numbers, dude. I'm serious. Mahomes, 611 yards passing. Tyreek Hill, 1 touchdown, over 200 yards receiving already through the season. Kelsey's got 3 touchdowns, okay? Tyrann Mathieu on that defensive side got 2 picks already, 1 for a pick 6. So I like where Kansas City's at. I like them to beat the LA Chargers, even though I said it could be an upset alert game, meaning it's going to be super close. But I like Kansas City at home. Kansas City should not lose the LA Chargers at home. No excuses whatsoever. I expect them to put on a show and Mahomes to ball out like he always does. So I like Kansas City at 7, and I like the over. Let's go Chiefs. Then we got Atlanta versus the Giants. Really, between 2 trash teams, honestly. Atlanta, they just haven't recovered since the Super Bowl loss in 2016, and that's been 5 years ago. Matt Ryan, I thought they would get rid of Matt Ryan. They gave him opportunity after opportunity. Yes, he's a pretty good quarterback, but has he won you guys a Super Bowl yet? No. He basically blew it, dude. Throwing on 3rd and 1, I blame the coaches, then he got sacked by Hightower, blindsided, sacked. It's just like, why are you guys throwing the ball? Are you guys trying to get them a game to the New England? Run the clock out, dude. It's 3rd and 1. Run the ball. Just basic 101 football, but the, Atlanta Falcons was just too cocky, and they just blew it, dude. And ever since they haven't recovered, therefore I'm going to go the Giants at 3 points. Daniel Jones, really big win. Actually, the Giants ended up losing last week to the Redskins. Excuse me, they didn't win. They should have won. They got a bad penalty late game when they missed a field goal, when Washington missed a field goal. But both these teams are trash. They're both 0-2. But I will go Giants. I like Daniel Jones. 516 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Also 15 carries on 122 yards. Look, and Sterling Shepard, man, he's so nice. 16 receptions, over 200 yards with Saquon back in the mix. I really think it's going to be a process for Saquon after tearing his ACL last year. But look, Saquon healthy, it's going to be a deciding factor for the Giants. I like the Giants with Saquon. I like them to get their first win. 47.5 is the over-under. I'd probably go with the under here. I think it's going to be a little bit low scoring. Watch it be crazy, but with Saquon in the mix right now, getting back into the groove, I expect Saquon to have a breakout game this game and really prove to us, hey, I am an elite running back. I can compete. Even though I got hurt last year, this guy's so talented. We're talking about Saquon Barkley here. Him at his peak, he could be a top 3 running back in the NFL. Can't wait to see what he does tomorrow. I like the Giants. Then we got Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, dude, this is another coin flip. Really, it sounds crazy, but Joe Burrow, he's got something brewing in Cincinnati. Let's be honest here. He's got something brewing. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. Joe Mixon, 196 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Jamar Chase, 7 receptions, 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. The LSU connection. I expect Joe Burrow to go into Pittsburgh and have a breakout game here. Throw for a couple touchdowns. And really, this is going to be a close game. But Big Ben at home, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick this year. I like Pittsburgh Steelers. They should win this game. Now, if Pittsburgh Steelers, if TJ Watt does not play because of a groin injury, I would say the Bengals with the upset here. Yes, that's a deciding factor. If TJ Watt does play here this game, I like Pittsburgh. But if he's out, I like the Cincinnati Bengals. I think TJ Watt's that deciding factor. He's that it factor, right? He's that ball hawk on defense. He can put pressure on the quarterback. He can also go out in coverage if he wants to. So I like, they gave him a lot of money this year. So, that's a deciding factor. If TJ Watt does play, I like Pittsburgh with the 3. So I'll go Pittsburgh 3 points. I'll take that. But I'd love to see Cincinnati get the upset here. This is definitely an upset alert game. So I like Cincinnati with the upset here. I'm telling you, now this is like a side bet here, so I would go Cincinnati on a side bet, but, the safe bet definitely is Pittsburgh at home. So I'll go Pittsburgh with the 3, cover the 3, 100%. 43 is the over-under. You guys could decide that. But, my gut's kind of telling me Cincy, though. It really is, but I'll go Pittsburgh for now. That'll be a game-time decision. Then we got Arizona versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Arizona this year, they're undefeated, dude. Whereas, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-2 under Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. What is going on with Jacksonville? Hey, this is the real world right now, okay? This is the NFL. This ain't college football no more. Everybody's fast. Everybody's strong. Everybody's quick, okay? Everybody can run you down, so this is a different game here, dude. Everybody's just good in the NFL, okay? There's really no weak spots here. Nobody's really slow unless you're the kicker or the center, okay? So Kyler Murray putting up crazy numbers, 7 touchdowns, only 3 picks. I just think, with what they got going on in Deshaun Hopkins, he might be questionable for his ribs, so that might be another deciding factor. But I think really the difference with Arizona is their defense, and that starts with J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, dude, able to put pressure on Trevor Lawrence. I think that's going to be the deciding factor, so I'm going to go Arizona. I'm 7.5. I'll take that. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, what do you prove to us something? You got 4 touchdowns and 5 picks. That's just not like championship-like football. Let's be honest here. Could Trevor Lawrence be a bust? No, I don't think so. I 100% think Trevor Lawrence can be a superstar. 100%. It's just going to take some time. He's starting off slow, 0-2, but this would be a huge win for Jacksonville if they can win at home against Arizona. Arizona's a hot team coming in. Got a big win last week against Minnesota. So, this is definitely one of those games. It could be a coin flip, but I got to go Arizona because they're a hotter team right now. Trevor Lawrence isn't looking too well right now. He's just not. I just think he's out of sync. Melvin Gordon, 132 yards rushing and a touchdown. That's pretty good. Courtland Sutton, 10 receptions, 173 yards for Jacksonville. But look, dude, I just think, man, I don't understand. Excuse me, Melvin Gordon, that was the Broncos, excuse me. But back to Jacksonville. Marvin Jones, Jr., 11 receptions, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think Jacksonville, look at their defense. They've averaged, their defense gave up 30 points a game. I just think Jacksonville is not ready right now. I like Arizona over Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jets versus the Broncos. Speaking of Melvin Gordon, 1 touchdown, 132 rushing yards. Look, Teddy Bridgewater playing great. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. They're 2-0 right now, Denver Broncos, with Teddy Bridgewater. I like where Teddy Bridgewater's at right now. I like the way he's feeling the game. He's feeling the pressure, just understanding where to hit his spots at, hit the second, third receiver, or even the first receiver. I just think Teddy Bridgewater's on another level. He's really underrated. Teddy Bridgewater's 100% a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Maybe even top 5 right now. He's performing like a top 5. Yes, I would say top 5 Teddy Bridgewater right now. Zach Wilson, hey, winless in the NFL. This is not BYU anymore, dude, okay? We saw what happened last week, a really disaster. He's got 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This is the real game here, dude. This is the NFL. Guys are ready for you. They know what's coming. Tevin Coleman, he's going to be out for the Jets, running back from Indiana, went to IU. But to me, I love the Broncos. They're 10.5-point favorites at home. I think that's a deciding factor. They're playing at home. Teddy Bridgewater's just playing great. Top 5 quarterback. I said top 10 originally. Top 5. I had to correct myself. Teddy Bridgewater, number 4, number 5 right now in quarterbacks. He's just that good right now. And I think Teddy Bridgewater, if he continues to improve this year, the Denver Broncos could be very, very dangerous in the playoffs. Mark my words. I like Broncos. 41.5 is the over-under. I'll go with the over there, but I like Broncos at 10.5 all day. Let's go, Broncos. Then we got Miami versus Las Vegas Raiders. Really, Las Vegas Raiders are probably the hottest team in the NFL. Who would have thought this coming, right? Derek Carr putting up crazy numbers. 817 passing yards. 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Derek Carr playing out of his mind right now. The best he's ever played in the NFL, and John Gruden loves that. I think John Gruden, Derek Carr, they got something brewing in in Las Vegas. Crazy, right? Crazy it's in Las Vegas right now, but the Raiders got something brewing. Josh Jacobs, he's doubtful because of an ankle injury. Darren Waller, what a story. From battling addiction and coming back and coming to the NFL. Crazy, right? From addiction rock bottom to the NFL. Performing great. 15 receptions, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown. I think Miami's going to get blown out here. I'll take the Las Vegas Raiders at 3.5. Why is Miami going to get blown out? Because their defense is somewhat weak, and Tua is out. He is out. He's not playing this game. It's going to be a long game for Miami, so I like Las Vegas Raiders all day at 3.5. I'd even go 7.5. Even 8.5, 9.5. 10, something like that, but 44.5 is the over-under. You guys can decide that, but I love Las Vegas Raiders at home. The way they're playing, they're just on a roll right now. They're the X-Factor team. They're playing like a top 3 team in the NFL right now. Las Vegas Raiders, yes, top 3 team in the NFL right now. Who would have thought that? 3.5, I like the Las Vegas Raiders. Then we got the game of the week, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to LA Rams, and really this is an upset alert game. Bucks are 1.5-point favorites. They started at 1, now they're 1.5, which doesn't really make sense to me because Antonio Brown is out with the illness. Jason Pierre-Paul is out with the shoulder on that defensive side. So if the Rams do upset Tampa Bay, this is the game. This is the game. Antonio Brown's out. That's another deciding factor. But it's not like they don't have the GOAT Tom Brady with 9 touchdowns and 2 picks. And Fournette, I expect Fournette to really have a breakout game. Started a little slow, really just, missed a catch, out in the open field that led to an interception. And he understands that. He corrected himself. I think Fournette's just due for a breakout game here. Gronk, 4 touchdowns. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns. But I just think the X factor here is Antonio Brown being out. I think the Rams, they understand what's at stake here. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald on that defensive end. It's against Tom Brady here. You guys have to step up. They are superstars. I expect them to put pressure on Tom Brady and really to cause some problems here. Cooper Kupp's bowling out with 3 touchdowns already. Matt Stafford, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. So LA Rams are playing great right now, and so is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, this is definitely a coin flip game. I would honestly go the edge to the LA Rams. Why? Because Antonio Brown being out and Jason Pierre-Paul. That's strictly why. When you got, a superstar like Antonio Brown, top 3 receiver in the NFL, when he wants to play, he could be number 1 receiver in the NFL when Antonio Brown is that dedicated, right? When he's really in there. So I think, this is an upset alert. Both 2-0, 55.5 is the over-under. I'll probably lean with the over here. It's a primetime game later on in the day. I just think, man, this is an upset game. The Rams, it sounds crazy, but the Rams could get the upset here. but I can't bet against the GOAT. I just can't right now. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay at 1.5, but I want to be surprised. You guys marking eggs by this game because they can upset them. This is the time. If the Rams win, it's this game. Let's go, Rams. I'd love to see the Rams get the upset here, but I can't because the GOAT, Tom Brady. So I got the Bucks at 1.5. I'll take that all day. Then we got Seattle versus Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings 0-2. And crazy, right? Because Kirk Cousins is in 4th place in the Minnesota career list as a game started by QB. Most games started by QB. He's 4th on Minnesota's list. Hats off to Kirk Cousins. Let me give him a little respect here. Give him some homage. He's got 5 touchdown passes. But I just think, the weakness with Minnesota isn't Kirk Cousins, right? It's their defense. They've given up over 30 points a game, dude. It's just, you're not going to beat anybody in the NFL doing that. And you're playing Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion here. And Russell Wilson, 6 touchdowns this year. His favorite target, Tyler Lockett, 12 receptions, 278 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. I like Seattle, man, which sounds crazy. But, looking at it by paper, it would make sense to go Minnesota here. At home, Dalvin Cook, he's a great running back, 192 yards and a touchdown. And the way Minnesota plays at home, Kirk Cousins is on a roll. But I just think with Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett, the way they're playing right now, and they really blew that game against Tennessee last week. And I blame Pete Carroll for that loss. Really some bad calls late game. I don't know what they were doing. They were playing not to lose. That was the difference right there. But I like Seattle here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota wins. A lot of people are going Minnesota at home. 55 is the over-under. I'd probably go with the under here, but I love Seattle, dude. I really do. I like Seattle. I don't know what's telling me that. Is it my gut or what? I just think Russell Wilson is more experienced than anybody on that field right now, so I'm going to go Seattle all day. Then we got Green Bay versus 49ers. 49ers are 3-point favorites. They're undefeated right now. Jimmy G's playing great. 49ers defense is playing great with Nick Bosa. He's got 3 sacks through the season. I just think, man, Jimmy G, 503 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's playing disciplined football. That's what Jimmy G is. He's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's a good disciplined quarterback to win you regular season games. And that's what he's there for. But you know what? I'm going to go Green Bay here. I'm going to go Green Bay. And historically, Aaron Rodgers does not play well against 49ers. He doesn't. He just does. I don't know why, because, something happened in the draft with them. I don't know what. But I'm going Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packers with the upset. Why? Because he's the difference maker. We saw him turn it around against the Lions last week, and that's what champions do. And that's what Hall of Famers do, which Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. So I expect Davante Adams to get in the mix as well. It's kind of started off slow. He's got 13 receptions on 177 yards. I just think, yes, 49ers on paper should win this game. But Aaron Rodgers is that deciding factor. I think it starts with the Green Bay offensive line to give Aaron Rodgers time. You got to give him time. Give him time in the pocket. Give him a couple of extra seconds, and that's the difference right there. So I'm going Green Bay. 50.5 is the over-under. You guys can decide that, but I like Green Bay with the upset. Why? Because of Aaron Rodgers. Then we got the Monday Night Football game, baby. Philly versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is a primetime game, but you know what? I'm going with the Cowboys at 3.5. It starts with Dak Prescott. He's playing great this year. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks on 640 yards passing. I just think it's a big game for Zeke, and I expect a breakout game for Zeke against Philly. Rush for 2 touchdowns. It doesn't have to be over 100 yards rushing, but at least score 2 touchdowns for Zeke and get Amari Cooper in the mix. 16 receptions, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Get Lamb in the mix. I think the Cowboys really, when they lose, they beat themselves up, right? It's because of their own mistakes, just the way they played. But, we could say that about anybody, but I just think with Dak Prescott, what he's got going on right now in Dallas, I think we're seeing a different version of Dak. We're seeing a more serious Dak, where he's not worried about, all this other stuff, all the other noise. I think Dak really wants to win in Dallas. I really do. But Philly, man, they're no joke. Jalen Hurts, 454 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. Also 17 carries, 144 yards. But the deciding factor with Philly, Zach Ertz is out. They're tied in. This is going to be an NFC East battle, but I got to go Dallas. I like Dallas at home. Dak Prescott knows what's at stake. Them going 2-1 into week 4 is going to be huge for Dallas. So I'm going Dallas, 3.5 point favorites. 51.5 is the over-under. I'd probably go with the over here. I think they're going to score a lot of points, but I love Dallas and Dak, what they got going right now. And that's great news for the Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, pump the brakes. Did I say a Super Bowl? No. But I expect Dak to have a big game, and I expect Zeke to have a breakout game yet again. Okay, kind of started off the season slow, but I want to see him to eat, man. Eat, Zeke, eat, Zeke, eat. Have a big game. I like the Cowboys. And then back to my Indianapolis Colts, man. They got to win. They got to win. If they lose yet again, their season's over. Hats off to the Indianapolis Colts. You know, I don't want to give up on my Indianapolis Colts, but, 0-3 to start the season, that's not going to look good. A big, big primetime game. Carson Wentz is going to have a huge game, or else that's it, dude. I really do think the Colts will miss the playoffs if they start 0-3. So this is a huge game versus Tennessee. It's the NFL, baby. Any given Sunday, anything can happen, baby. Let's go!